In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at creating boards in the RPG Wizard. Boards are the environment in which your character moves around in. So in some of the tools, this might be referred to as maps or scenes, but in RPG Wizard, they are referred to as boards. And boards consist of tiles, they consist of non-playable characters. In this case, there's some torches here, which are like NPCs technically. There's also collisions as well. So these outlined areas in red and red are collisions, the areas that the player cannot pass through. And then there's also triggers or activation vectors, such as these yellow ones here, which trigger events. And we also have things like player's starting position on boards. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with boards, and in RPG Wizard you're probably going to be spending a lot of your time creating boards and editing them and building your world up in your game. So this is going to be a multi-part tutorial on boards. So I'm going to split it up into a few different videos because there's a lot to cover when it comes to board editing. We're just going to start with the basics today, which will be to create a board with some tiles and set that as your starting board and move the player around in that board environment. So a couple of things about boards is you'll need a tile set. So in one of the earlier tutorials, we created a tile set. In the Wizard's Tower demo game, there's a tile set called Tower. That's the one I'm going to use here for this demo now. So when creating a board, you need to go to New Board, and you'll be asked a few things. You'll be asked about the width in tiles and height in tiles that you want your board to be, and you'll also be asked about what size are those tiles in width and height. And it will also give you the dimensions in pixels of how big that is going to be after you've put the dimensions in. So a couple of important things to know is you cannot adjust the width and height size after creating the board. So you really need to think about how you want to lay your board out, and maybe give yourself a little bit more space than you think you're going to need, so you have a little bit of a movement. In future versions, you'll probably be able to expand the size of a board, but that's just not possible at the minute. Also, when it comes to the tile height and width, you have to have a matching tile set. So if you set your width and height to 32 by 32, your tile set that you want to use has to be 32 by 32 tiles as well. So I'm just going to go with these default dimensions here, and I'm just going to show you how you can create a board. So the first thing you'll be presented with is an empty board with nothing on it. You'll notice straight away that the layers component down here now has a single untitled layer in it, and also the properties editor, you can see some basic stuff here as well, like the width and height. As you can see, they're not editable, and some background music and an entry program. So you can just like pretty much straight away just click on any tile in the tile set and just kind of draw like this. So it's very much kind of like a visual tool with a kind of paint-like feel to it. So that's one way to create a lot of tiles. You'll see up here in the toolbar at the very top, you've got some kind of paint-like tools, such as a draw kind of pencil tool. You've got the ability to select a region too, so you can kind of select an area of tiles, and then you can also do stuff like filling, deleting. And I'm going to cover these 4 basic tools today, and we're just going to cover the tile stuff in this video. So there's also undo, so that's very useful. So I'm going to just undo everything I did there. So just a few things. If you select the pencil tool, you can only select a single tile at any time. So it's just one tile, so you have to draw everything like this. And I'm holding the mouse down and dragging, and it's drawing all these tiles for me. That's one way. But if you have a larger surface area and you want to just fill that area, then you can just use the bucket tool, and straight away you fill the entire area with tiles. So you might also want to do something like, I'm just going to create like a wall at the very top of this board now. So I'm just going to select another tile down here, select the bucket tool. So I'm selecting this bottom tile here, the bottom piece of the wall. I've selected the bucket tool, and I'm going to just click on this. And now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go and select this upper wall tile, and I'm going to use the bucket tool again here too. Sorry, I fill that area. So now I've got this filled wall area at the very top of the board. So you can also do different things with the selection tool as well. Like you can select an area that you wish to erase tiles from. So maybe I don't want this area here with these tiles, so I just completely erase that area. And yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to the basic kind of tile tools. There's not a whole lot more to it than that, other than if you go to the tile set, you can do multi-tile selection on the tile set. So if you select the pencil tool and you drag your mouse in the tile set, you can kind of select, so I can select this entire door here, and I can just paste that somewhere. So I'm just going to put like 2 doors, one here, one there, and yeah, so that's what that looks like. So you can do that. You can do that with a multitude of tiles. So you can grab any amount of tiles. So like that, you know, it might not make a lot of sense there, but okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to call it demo. And now you've saved the board, and you're probably wondering, how do I actually put my player onto this board? There's a few ways to do that, but I'm just going to cover the first one for today, which is you can set the initial board in. So if you go to the project game file, you double click that, opens up the project editor. You can go to the project settings, and you can say startup settings. You can set the initial board. So I'm going to just set that to demo. I'm also going to turn off the startup program because I don't want the whole intro to play. So I'm just going to say that. I'm going to save. And what this is going to do is it's going to say, send my character to this board on startup. So you also need to set your initial character too. So in the Wizard's Tower, that's the hero character. But if you followed the previous tutorials, you'll have your own character. So you just set that there, and then you go save, and then you just click play. Click that, and you see the character is now walking on the board. But you'll also notice a few things, like there's no collisions, so I'm able to walk through things, and there's nothing happens when I go up to this door. And you can see the area where I deleted the tiles from. By default, any of those areas are just rendered black, so the background shows, so it's transparent. So yeah, so now let's say I want to add some background music. So what you want to do is you want to select the board again. So make sure the board title is selected to select the bar at the very top of the board. And you want to go down here to music, and then you want to pick some music. So I'm just going to play Tower. Just going to make sure my audio's set low, and I'm going to press play. And then you can hear the Tower music playing in the background. And so that's all I'm going to cover in this first tutorial on boards. In the next tutorial, I'm going to look at layering, so creating multiple layers with your boards, and I'll look at setting up collisions on the boards. We'll also, in some future videos, be looking at setting up NPCs on the board, and also images on your board as well. So that's it for today, guys.